Hey, and welcome to NUFC Talk. Thank you for clicking on this video. Cheers for downloading, subscribing. If you haven't already and you're on YouTube, make sure you're pressing on the subscribe button, the bell, and leaving us a comment with your thoughts as well. Yeah, you alright, mate?
I'm good, yeah. Yeah, mate.
So football.
Fresh off footy, aye. It's tough that, like, tough coming straight yeah, like. It was good game.
Good. If you haven't already, you can get us on the different social media. So we're on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can get us at NUFC Talk Pod. And that covers all it. If you want to get us individually, we're Twitter, which is Glenn_NUFC.
At Yanis NUFC.
Cool. There we go. Social media done. Let's dive straight into it, mate. Breaking news about an hour and a half ago is Newcastle putting £50 million in for James Maddison.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It's like the big marquee, this one, isn't it? This feels like, I know, like, obviously Bruno has a lot of money and Botman we chased him for a couple of windows, but this one feels like this is a bit of a kind of warning to the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, because you feel like with Bruno and Botman, they were both European players, which, let's be honest, even as football fans, we can't say we knew too much about them until they were brought up and the names were in headlights. Then everyone went and did the YouTube searches and Googles. But yeah, Maddison's the one where, like, wow, Newcastle means some business.
It's just the fact that Leicester were the kind of side that would buy from the teams below them for...
Yeah, we've got Perez. Perez had a decent season for us, and he went after Leicester for bigger and better things, and nothing really came of his career since. As he's warmed the bench.
Aye, sad that. It's good for us, Perez. He's class post-Christmas every season. Yeah. Pre-Christmas, shite. Post-Christmas, you'd get all these 10 goals. I like Perez, mate. Good finisher. So I think it's a marquee. We're sort of splashing the cash around a bit and actually almost financially bullying a side that probably we should be competing with the next 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah,
because if the reports that are coming out are true that Leicester's in a bit of financial difficulty, because we were just listening to TalkSport there literally before we press record, and they said that Leicester's in a bit of a bad way financially, and you see like the players that they're offloading, there's like talks of Schmeichel going, and Tielemans has been inquired by, Arsenal's been after him, and Newcastle inquired about the winger.
Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes, yeah. He was the winger, Harvey Barnes, and obviously Maddison as well. Chelsea sniff around for Farnham, and there's talks of £80 million for him. Like,
that's some cash, like.
For Rodgers, who's looking after Leicester, who probably had a underwhelming season for where he wanted them to be.
Yeah.
Imagine even just 2 or 3 of these players going the week before the Premier League season kicks off. Like, it's almost like ripping all your pre-season from.
What's Danny Drinkwater up to these days? Get him back. Let's get the band back together. Yeah. That might be it. That could be the end of the Leicester bubble kind of bursting, like, because the top 6 are strong now.
Yeah.
Villa, West Ham, we've spoken a few pods now. Villa, West Ham, us. There's investment in all those sides. Things like Brighton are really well run and well managed financially and stuff. Wolves will spend a bit of cash again.
Palace run a little bit of a lift after Vieira, depending on how far they can go. But yeah.
But it could be the fact that Leicester is a bit of a sort of stunt for them. But I think Maddison, I would absolutely love Maddison. I think he's quality.
Sorry, go.
I was going to say he's a proper 10. It'll be the first time we've had a 10 for plays in that kind of way, for someone who gets in and around in the middle of the pitch, in and around the box, scores goals, gets assists. Like.
So I've got his numbers here, then I've got a question for you, Will. So Maddison started his career for Coventry.
Yeah.
24 games, 4 goals. Went to Norwich, where he was loaned back to Coventry, did 11-1. And then when he was at Norwich, he played 47 games, 15 goals. He also did a brief loan at Aberdeen as well, 14-2. And then Leicester, in Premier League appearances, only 133 with 33 goals. But then his stats off Sky was nuts for last season. So he played 53 games in all competition last season. 18 goals and 12 assists.
Jesus, good that way, isn't it?
I mean, involved in 30 goals.
Because they had a Europa League run, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a good run there, and obviously cup games as well. And
my mate was raving about Maddison back when he was at Norwich. You saying we should try and sign him back in the days when he's with those guys in the Championship.
had my fantasy football team for a good run as well this
He's
season.
solid. He tends to be a kind of a form player, doesn't he? He tends to go on these runs and scores a bunch of goals, gets a bunch of assists. But I feel like last season, last couple of seasons, he's never really been properly fully fit. Like he's also these like niggles that have, even though he's played 50 odd games, like, I feel like he's been getting up to speed quite a lot of them.
Because I was thinking that does he have a reputation of being like a player that's always carrying an injury? Then he played 53 games. He's kind of robust. He played more than Maxi by 20 games, and he was our most played player last season.
Yeah,
so he's not that bad.
That is a lot.
Imagine if you're Callum Wilson always carries an injury and you do 50 games a season.
You know, he gets 50 games the next 4 seasons. Callum Wilson. It's a marquee signing, and I'm obviously would be delighted because he's an absolute quality player. The only thing I think is, what do you do with him, or what do we play?
I was going to be one question to you is class marquee, but where does he naturally fall in and play? Because you said he is that 10 role, so you'd think he'd be playing just ahead of the midfield, just behind Callum Wilson or whoever else. But if we're playing that 4-3-3, does he drift out wide?
No,
I don't see him as an out-and-out winger. Does he come back in and he's got to, I suppose, play in the midfield 3?
I think it's a play in the midfield 3. Just he plays further forward, and you probably play maybe somewhere like Bruno and Joel and
so maybe play 2 hold and push a little bit.
Yeah, or 2 guys that just do the graph, and he's played as an 8 plenty. He hasn't just played as a 10. He has played as an 8 before. He's played deeper when they've played like Iheanacho and Vardy together. He's played as in a deeper role. But so I'm certain I don't think he'd be. It's obviously not his game. It's not his. But yeah, he had such quality to the squad. Like Harvey Barnes is the one that makes more sense though.
Yeah, be more wide man.
Yeah, because that's obviously what we need. I'm a massive fan of Harvey Barnes. I think he's quality.
So if we get Maddison, which is still a big if, because I think Leicester will probably come back and say no to 50 and push towards 60, and they might end up somewhere in between. Does that hinder? Like, no one knows exactly how much money we've got left to spend, especially since we've got this loan.
Got a tick.
Yeah, that's it. Gone down on the tick shop. Does this hinder our positions in buying up front and a right winger? Does one of them positions become not as important, or going to get left off? Like,
I don't know.
Because the other players that we're in talks with as well is this broke on Friday when we were going to the Atlanta game. Was Cornet? There was all the reports that apparently we were willing to meet the release clause of 17.5 million, which
I mean that's a no-brainer for me. Like,
it's great business. That
100%.
He scored 10 goals in a bad Burnley team. Can play either side from memory and actually play down the middle as well.
Yeah.
So he would be that cover for
Wilson,
and a bit more of a similar style to Wilson than Wood.
And he's probably, if the drop off from Maxi, then he's an improvement if he goes wide, and he's certainly an improvement if Wilson's not fit. And he's probably competition for Wilson. He's probably genuine competition. I think he's scored, especially in the first half of the season, he scored all sorts of goals. Scored goals from outside the box. Scored sort of tap-ins. He missed a few chances at the back end of the season. Remember a few sitters he missed, but I
might be wrong, but if he scored 10 last year, he would have gone to the African Cup of Nations as well. So
did I? That's why he came back. I don't know if it was burnout or something. He came back and he had a few chances, and he wasn't quite sharp at the start of the season.
But I'd go on playing in a bad Burnley side.
Well, if he played in 53 games like Maddison, he probably got 45 goals.
Yeah, we're breaking Jason Andy Cole's.
Yeah, so that would be a no-brainer for me. That's what I would imagine would do some shrewd, sort of sensible business. It might be a case that the wing targets we've gone for haven't been available, but we still want to strengthen. Mickey's done quite well in pre-season.
Yeah.
Has Miggy done enough to see if we strengthen in midfield and we're bringing our forward in? Can Miggy do us a job out wide?
Or if we get Maddison for 55, 60 million, whatever it turns out to be, you get Maxwell Cornet for 70.5, and you pick up Timo Werner on loan. Because that's also been bandied about this week, hasn't it?
Was that? Did we talk about that last week or not? Was it after that?
There was talk of it, and we mentioned it, didn't we? But it was how would he fit into the budget and the transfer wages where he was on. Let me get my notes up.
Because he's on 270 grand a week, so if we could split that at 50-50 with
Chelsea.
I was going to say Spurs there with Chelsea. I mean, I find it absolutely baffling that some Newcastle fans like, no, I don't fancy Timo Werner.
I think every person who's come up, again, it's football, it's all up to
opinions,
and everyone can have their own opinion, but I can't imagine why anyone would say no to Timo Werner. I can't see why you would say no to Cornet and Maddison as well. There's people, I've seen a known arguing against each one and saying that Maddison's too much of a fairy and he rolls about on the floor. And
I mean, I would finally forgive him for going over
Lascelles' leg.
Lascelles' leg at me frigging shot, man.
Yeah.
Also, for that peach of a left foot strike when Lejeune passed him the ball. Remember that one? It's in James's Park, got beat 3-0 when Bruce played Lejeune 3 times in 3 days when he just came back from an ACL injury. Remember that?
Kept wheeling back out. Once he get on his wheelbarrow and just took on the side of the pitch.
He's waking him up.
Yeah, come on.
Florian, make it up. So he looked pagged. It was then obviously he's loved the goal against us as well. Yeah. But it generally not only does it makes sense for us, but if there's a bit of financial difficulty at Leicester, if they can get 50 million, 30 of it up front now, whatever, because that's the talk was they want the money up front. That's what the crack is. If they can get that, then it makes financial sense for them. They can, he's got 30, 40 million or whatever it is to go and spend, because they'll have some money. They're going to have no money. They'll have some. So then suddenly...
Especially when teams say they've got no money. If a club like Leicester say they've got like 20 million in the bank, that doesn't do anything nowadays, does it? It's like...
Nah, but if you had 30 million up front of that, and you got 50 million, you can go and get 2 or 3 players from Europe, and if you get them all right, then suddenly you've improved your squad, and you've had to do what they did the gamble at Maddison. You only had 1 decent season in the Championship.
Aye, because in Maddison 2018 they paid 24 million for him.
So they gambled on him, didn't they?
So when people are saying like, oh, I wouldn't be paying 50 million, you might as well go and get Paqueta, or if he gets 60 million, that's too much money. Is it? On current value of players right now.
Look like Buendia, he was when Villa signed Buendia, he was near 30 million. Ben Rama, when West Ham signed Ben Rama from Brentford, he was nearly 30 million.
And then look
Mopey was like 30 million or something. Only when the Brighton signed him from Brentford.
And you look at someone like Kukurea, who's put his transfer request in because he wanted to get Man City, and they wouldn't pay more than 30 million. Chelsea's just swooped in and said, "Oh, we'll pay 50 million." So he's now in advanced talks with Chelsea. It is like, if you want someone who walks into a starting 11, you're not really especially someone that can play in a top 6 club.
Yeah,
you're not getting much change now out of 40-50 million, which is a nut statement. So when you hear the likes of Cornet 70.5 and all the transfer business we've done so far, like, it's amazing. So if we're paying a bit over the top, which some people might do for Maddison, is it necessarily that much of a bad thing?
No, I think yeah, it's about balance, isn't it? I think if you look at the transfer budget in that way,
yeah.
If you think of Pope, we'd be underpaid for him. Trippier, we've underpaid for him. Target, we've underpaid for him. Bruno, we've definitely underpaid for him.
It will come
Botman was probably like we're going to probably underpay for him in 2 seasons' time.
Yeah.
Wood, underpaid for. Would be overpaid for him. That offsets everything how much you overpaid now. But like if you had all those things in, the business has been largely very, very good.
Burn.
Yeah, underpaid. Yeah, 12 million or something?
13 million. Yeah.
So they've all been really good. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's the big marquee one. It's the one across the Premier League to say actually we can go and take the prize asset from a team that is a would-be top 8 side.
I'm competing against.
Yeah, we can go take that prize.
It's the class to bully someone.
That's mint. And then in a season's time, we'll be doing that. We'll have Declan Rice. We'll have Bowen. But yeah, I think it's brilliant business. If we can get him for around 50, 60 million, like once you go beyond that, it's a lot of money. But he's proven Premier League as well. Like he's proven.
That's it. And I've read a few different arguments for Maddison, for Paqueta, and the thing for Maddison is like he is Premier League proven, and that's such a big thing. You see so many foreign players come over here and can't adapt to the pace, or it takes 2 seasons. Yeah, it takes a couple of seasons. Whereas Newcastle fans, we all know it's a part of the process and the journey, so we're known to be patient, but we want to be impatient. We want Maddison to walk in and day one and Wilson through for his hat trick and all
Yeah,
sorts.
absolutely. He's 25 as well, so he's coming into prime years. Like,
got one England international cap, and you'd imagine he'd be part of the England team going forward.
Well, that's what the talk has been. The talk has been like, if you listen to sort of reports and that, it's been the fact that to further his England career, he thinks he needs to be at a bigger club.
But then also for Maddison as well, if you were looking at it from his point of view in his career, if you're honest with yourself, you probably realise Leicester's kind of, and if this sounds a bit nuts constantly, have won the Premier League before, which we haven't, is they might have reached the cap of where they are right now, or reached the peak of, we haven't got money to invest.
Cup, remember? FA Cup?
Yeah, of course,
Season before? Season before?
Not last season before, yeah.
Charity Shield last season? Oh, aye.
I'll just look at that. Anyway, next, so what we...
No,
but you know what I mean? Like, they've won some cups, they've won some trophies, which is more than us, but sides go on declines, don't they? You feel like they've reached where they were for a period of time. They've got financial difficulties, having to offload some assets. They're not seeming to replace them with the same calibre or anybody. They haven't signed anybody
I think that's the big one. I think if you've got ambitious players that want to be in Europe and that kind of thing, players like Kim, like Tielemans, like there'll be people sniffing around like Pereira and stuff like that right back. Like there's plenty of quality players. The minute you don't start signing, replacing, improving the squad, and you fall behind. But yeah, your assets just wave goodbye to you. Like, so I think the writing will be on the wall for 2 or 3 of these. Yeah. If Vardy was 2 years younger, he'd also be. Yeah, he'd be away as well.
I think that might be a deciding factor as well. At Maddison, might also be open to some talks as well. Like he's been there for 133 games. What's that?
3 seasons. Well, he plays 53 every season.
2 seasons.
I think 3 seasons.
133. That's league appearances. So it's 4, 8, 12. She's done like 3 or 4 seasons. Yeah. Actually, 2018. So yeah. We made that hard, didn't we? So maybe after 4 years, like he got what he wants from it, and
yeah, he's got his hands on a trophy, FA Cup. Mm-hmm. Like so many Premier League players earn an absolute wedge but never get their hands on silverware. Yeah. So all in all, would you be, of all the kind of rumours? I know obviously there's a clear ones like DRB that isn't going to happen anymore, but stuff like Paqueta and that, are you pro this?
Look, Paqueta, from what I've seen, I'm not going to pretend to know everything about him, but except he's Bruno's mate, and then everyone goes and watches some videos.
He plays for Brazil all the time, so he must be pretty decent. Like,
so he seems decent, but then seems to have calmed down a bit. So that's off the table now. Then if you got offered Maddison, like, of course we'd say yes.
Yeah.
And if we're arguing over 50 million or 60 million for that type of proven Premier League player, like, I'm a yes all day long.
It gives you options as well, doesn't it? It means you can play a 4-3-3, and the best sides rotate players, like, so. You can play 4-3-3, you can play 4-2-3-1 and play Maddison further forward. You can maybe play Maddison in a deeper role. He's definitely played deeper before. In fact, he's played deeper quite a bit, actually. So, yeah, it gives you options. Oh, that'd be class. I'm totally pro it. Yeah.
So with 60 million, you think it's a good deal?
Yeah. It's 2022, man. 60 millions. It's nothing, is it?
Especially to a club that's worth 300 billion as well.
And especially when we get a loan, 300 billion plus 150 million. So solid business. The Werner one, I don't know. I'd be amazed if it happens. Like, but the Corney makes sense to me. Corney might be. I think Corney could be one that is like last couple of days of the transfer window. We're sniffing around everywhere else. We can't get a striker in, so we're just going to hide some cash at that. Solid backup.
Yeah, I'd take all 3.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about anything to say which one I'm most confident about yet, if any of them happen. Or
I've honestly got this feeling. I said in the group chat that before, I've got this feeling I think we'll get Maddison.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think we will. I think he'll want to come, definitely. I think if they need a bit of cash, and we know where to squeeze, we know where to say, right, we'll give you this up front, this next season, or this next window, whatever. I think, yeah. Just going back to the bank getting all alone. Yeah, I reckon Maddison will happen. I'm not sure. I think Corney might happen, but like later on in the window. But Maddison's the one I do think will definitely.
Timo Werner would be one I'd be most surprised after that one came off.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Anything else that made?
Just Nah, that's it. Same Maddison.
Yeah, same Maddison. Done. Friendlies.
Yeah.
So we got ourselves to St James's Park, mate.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it?
Friday, and not to start off with the negative, but if we picked the wrong starting 11 to go and watch, it was probably that one, wasn't it? But hey, going back to St James's Park, it was incredible, wasn't it? And one thing I said to you when we were having a beer in actually St James in the terrace we went to.
Yeah.
The buzz around the ground, just for a friendly, was amazing. The excitement around it, and there's reports for like 85,000 fans there over 2 days.
I was 85, one or two about 2 days, yeah.
That's incredible. And the buzz around the ground for a friendly versus how many years we've gone to Premier League games and it wasn't flat, there wasn't that buzz.
Yeah, it was quality. It was a good atmosphere. It was just I think the obviously opposition helps. I feel like we've played like some York and stuff in years gone by, so that helps to have some decent opposition, like because they are decent. Them like I watched in the Champions League, but they should have got 1 point or no points off my United. Ronaldo scored late on. I think both games in the group stage they played them in, but they're a good side. Like it was interesting the starting lineup when that came out. We were like, pretty much everyone I wanted to see hasn't started.
Yeah.
But I was glad to see like the obviously solid back five. Do you reckon that's the back five he starts with?
Yeah, that's what we're going to chat about the last part of the.
No, okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
The first one, but yeah, the defensive unit, the midfield was obviously a bit of a surprise. I think they've had because they obviously had to produce 2 different starting 11s. Mm-hmm. Shelby pulling his hamstring at
and Joe Linton being
Benfica, Joe Linton, yeah. So that kind of forced his hand at what his team was going to be on the second day. So we watched the midfield of Miggy, Longstaff, and Anderson.
Yeah, I think Anderson looked really good.
Mm-hmm. Quite a positive one.
He's positive. He's strong. Like he's physically quite strong on the ball. He's got a natural ability to kind of shield the ball. He had a lovely reverse pass to the left hand side. I think it must have been to Fraser. And he couldn't. He went past one. Played a lovely reverse ball. Like he's got an eye for a pass. I think he's a good player. I think we should keep him.
Yeah, after watching bits in pre-season, like I think he's worth keeping around, and I think he's better than some other wide options we have, which I think we'll get into in a second. Because with the friendlies, you're not going to go and dissect two friendlies over the full 90 minutes and who passed to who and everything. But the goals we maybe touch on them. So there was a penalty. Wood scored it.
Anderson won it.
That's that done.
Anderson was nice. I think it was Longstaff played it into him, and it was touch. Contact went down.
And then Atlanta. Bilbao. Yeah.
Oh, really before did he see Anderson's interview afterwards? So after his Atlanta game, that's the first time he's played at St James's.
Yeah.
And he was just like quite articulate, comes across really well. It just was like living the dream. It was just like that was everything I'd imagined it would be. I was like, go on.
That's class. Especially war flags were there, like.
Yeah, because he could have played his first game at St James's. That friendly, like 8,000 people then. 4,500 of your schoolmates and so like I think that was class, but he just come across really really well. So Bilbao.
I was going to say the goals were completely different to the Woods penalty.
Yeah.
Wilson's goal where he showed some fancy footwork, had a step over, sent half the wrong way and just tapped it past the keeper.
Yeah, it was a good finish. That it was made from ASM though. That ASM cut inside 2 or 3 people, and then like as soon as that. He opens a space up that makes the run for Richie on, like because that run, that's what people like when people complain about ASM and stuff. I still find it baffling because like if that's Miggy's had a great pre-season, but if that's Miggy, he's not cutting inside 2 or 3 people and opening the whole pitch up because as soon as that happens, then there's runners off the ball. And then once you got runners, everything changes. Like
that's it. Miggy's he's going down wide. Where he can hopefully try and beat his last man with pace and cut inside, but he's cutting inside like past his last man. He's not cutting back, bringing it in this way. I completely agree with you. I think Max is starting to show and starting to pass more, which is huge, which I think a lot of Newcastle fans have spotted this pre-season, which you must put down to Eddie Howe's coaching and his team. And then his goal as well.
He ran in behind. How long have we seen him running behind for?
Yeah. Do you reckon he's done sort of that the torch where he pin his eyes open and just play like videos of Son on repeat?
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I think he's got pace to burn. He's probably quicker than Son. He's so quick. Just get him behind, and he always wants it to feet. I reckon that's what I'd have been drilling him on. I'd have been drilling him just on shape. As soon as it goes here, bam, you're in behind.
You know when you hear like reports of great players where they stay on the pitch for like half an hour later to practice free kicks and penalties. I reckon like Bruno, ASM, stay behind. Bruno, just knock it long and have like some defender like I don't know, like dumb it if his hamstring has and gone like just like launching over the top of him.
Maybe those training videos were him just imagining running in behind. Yeah. When he's running up the hill.
Yeah.
That's what he's practicing. But took his goal really, really well. And I was buzzing for him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dummett even played as well.
Dummett did play high. I think he came off 60 minutes I think he played. Because Bondswell came on again, didn't he?
Yeah, but just before we leave the friendlies, mate, just roughly some players which look really positive and some players which didn't look up to speed. My positives one first. Do you want to go positives or negatives?
Let's get the schmucks out the way first. Let's go negative.
So the ones where I can see a drop off, I don't think it's going to be news to anybody, but the ones which noticeably looked off pace and a drop down in level, I have
just quality in it.
Yeah, I've got Murphy, Wood, Ritchie, and Dummett. Murphy, I want him to be good, but I always keep, when you think them players like, oh, he'll come good, he's just a young lad, he'll come good. We've had him for 5 years now.
I know.
And we paid 12 million for him 5 years ago. He's 26 now. How much longer do you keep saying he's going to come good? He's going to come good.
Well, I think he was at our level. He's a champ. He's upper championship. He's probably a top 5 championship, bottom 5 Premier League player.
Yeah.
And which we have been for the last 5 years. So and I'm probably just something squad player, not a starter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'm not going to eat Murphy's lunch or anything for the fact he's just not good enough. But now we can see that. I totally agree. Like the drop off to him is like, yeah.
Wood, we've spoke about him a few times. Ritchie, as much as he's been a great servant for us, he's put a shift in. I think we mentioned this in a previous pod as well. He should have been let to crack on. There's just a few times he got put to cross the ball, didn't beat his first man, give the ball away a few times, and you can just...
But Richie's funny because there's this fallacy that Richie's a good crosser of the ball. I fucking don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. I think he must have got a few assists over time, but he must have like a 1%. Every 100 balls he puts in the box, somebody gets on the end of it, never mind scores.
Because he had penalty duties for a while, didn't he?
Maybe in the championship, maybe, or early doors in the...
It's because you can take a odd penalty, you can cross a ball and one person kind of gets crisp with everything,
pens,
pens, corners, crossing, free kicks, and maybe it's just deceived everyone. Everyone just presumes. It's like Ronaldo's great free kicks, and that free kick he scored for Man United last season was his first free kick for like 5 years or something.
He shated them.
I'm not comparing Ritchie to Ronaldo, by the way.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think he's had this, or maybe he's class in training. He just trains on a sixpence. But he's obviously. I think there's a little bit of chat I saw on online that he might be away.
Right too.
There wasn't any talk of he just there was.
Oh, you mean a holiday or something?
But no, he's been on the last couple of years, hasn't he? Potentially might be away. I think there are championship suitors.
All right. I think maybe Howe's wanting to pad the squad a little bit more and see what his numbers are going to be, and maybe as much as you might be active trying to throw some money at the last day, we might also give away some, I don't want to say freebies, but
give away some deadwood.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting. I thought when I saw the starting lineup, I thought Ritchie would play in midfield and Almiron would play wide. I've always thought Ritchie...
No, he played different games, didn't he? Miggy played on...
Well, that's why.
There you
go. Anyway. that'll be why.
We never had that many bees before.
That's what I thought Ritchie played shite. He was in the other game. Was that where Ritchie moved? Come on.
Richie's got missing. He hasn't had the ball.
Like, that was Richie for 90 minutes.
I wonder why he was shouting at him the whole game. We don't need to go massively in. But anyway, the good players are the ones who look really positive.
Positives, yeah.
I actually mentioned him for not looking sharp last week. Wilson. He's looking up to match fitness now. Maxi, Anderson, which we've touched on, Miggy and Botman, just some token mentions there for people who...
I thought Longstaff had a decent game. The Atlanta game, like.
I don't completely agree with it. I think you can see his step down, which we all know, but I don't think there's anything to put him above anybody else.
Well, he broke the play up a few times quite well. He still gets done like up with pace, but he's not very fast, so can't be blamed for that. Like, get faster. But yeah, I reckon he's had a decent pre-season Longstaff, and I thought he played pretty well in the Atlanta game.
Okay. Then should we move on to
better than Richie did anyway.
Sorry, yeah,
better than Richie did.
He played far better than Richie on Friday. Forest.
Yeah.
Should we go for our starting 11 first?
Yeah. Our starting 11 or what we think.
We made Forest starting 11. I couldn't name the 11 signs that they've gotten.
I know.
The previous players. That's why Forest could be a surprise package, you know. No one knows what's going to come of them. Like, they've got a brand new starting 11. Could pretty much walk out. I think you've got to invest like 100%. You've got to... 100% in, yes, you've got to invest, not 100% in a start 11, but 100% you need to invest in terms of 4 or 5 quality players. But I think if you're starting pretty much, because it happens to Fulham every year. See, that though, Norwich did this last year. Norwich bought like a bunch of players, spent a lot of cash, but it was just a lot of
shade players.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million pound players. Freaking Josh Sargent and all players like that. So
he's got one scorpion kick and then.
Yeah,
but then again, Fulham did the same thing. Fulham did the exact same thing a couple of seasons ago. Like last time they were up, spent a bunch of cash, and then every time they go down, they give Tom Carney the captain's armband back, and then they roll out the old championship squad again. So you don't know. But anyway, our starting lineup. Back five. Do you reckon we saw a back five at Atlanta?
No.
Do you think Botman starts?
So sticks. I'm going for Pope.
Yeah, I think Pope. Aye.
Trippier, right back. Captain's armband for matchday captain.
Yeah.
Shah, Botman, and Matty Target.
It's interesting though,
because if Botman played Saturday,
yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
That means you would leave Botman on the bench.
No, I'm not saying I would do that. I would start Botman definitely, and I would agree with you now. I think you start Shah because I think he uses the ball slightly better than Dan Burn does. Like to pair them and put balls into midfield, which is brilliant. But it would just be surprising. Fair enough, you want to have like 90 minutes into a lot of players, so you want them both to play 90 minutes each, so you play 2 games Friday, Saturday, fine. But you would surely have you would want units to play together.
I know what you mean, yeah.
So Eddie Howe thinking he wants the original battle, he wants to maybe just give Botman 2 or 3 games to blood in, like, or because it would seem bizarre to me, like just play Burn in the Saturday game and play Botman. And
it did confuse me a little bit. I don't know. I think probably most Newcastle fans, being honest, it was expect to see Botman alongside
whoever's going to play against.
Yeah,
with.
But then that's because who started Saturday again?
Lascelles and Botman.
Because that's Botman started 2 games with Lascelles now because he played alongside Lascelles at Benfica.
He did, didn't he? Aye.
Maybe he's going to catch us all out and start Lascelles.
Nah.
I hope not.
Nah. But it would be surprising, wouldn't it? Though, would it? Can
you imagine if the back 4 is Kraft, Lascelles, Botman, and Dummett?
He's trying to get us relegated or something, is he?
Oh, fucking hell.
No, I think I agree with you. That would be my back 4, as you mentioned before. But it just seems a bit odd to have not played the whole back 5 as a unit together.
Let us know in the comments or wherever you're listening, who is your back 4? Who do you think is going to be starting?
And you keep your back 5.
Oh yeah, back 5, yeah, because I suppose Sticks is still massively for the debate.
I do think you'll start Pope though.
Pope.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I suppose we can debate the back 5 for the rest of the pod, but let's move into midfield. So midfield, bear in mind Shelby's pulled the hamstrings. That was 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. He's been out for a week, so yeah, he's going to miss the start of the season first. Imagine 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
So my midfield 3 is Joe Linton, Bruno, and Willock. I've gone for that combo because I think Bruno will play a bit deeper role, pick the ball up off the centre backs, and he'll go for Willock over a bit more energy rather than Longstaff.
Yeah.
Whereas if Longstaff plays, I still think you would want to have Bruno in the holding role, but Willock just has more fighting, a bit more energy.
I think it's hard because but
then
I feel like you're rubbing Peter to pay Paul in this because you want to have you're playing Bruno so you have Willock has more energy and definitely more goal threat than Longstaff, but you're not
going to play Willock as a holding midfielder.
No, that's what I'm saying. So what happens?
Longstaff.
So Longstaff sat in the whole.
Throwing pens away. I'm surprised myself.
So we played Longstaff in the.
You're getting old when you just move and start making noises, don't you? For another podcast, that noise was just me bending over to get a pen.
So we played Longstaff in a deeper role on Atalanta. So Longstaff sat and both Miggy and Anderson sat in front of him. So I feel like if you play Longstaff, yes, you lose the energy of Willock, but you get I think you get the best out of Bruno when he's in the number 8.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So it's like I feel like if you're, I know what you're saying. You want the energy of Willock, but you get the energy of Willock, you lose the attacking threat of Bruno, and Bruno is our best player in and around the box. He's the guy that finds little passes into people.
So the only other thing which would sway me towards changing my mind here, so maybe I'm changing my mind as we're speaking right now, is Willock's more of an impact sub as well because he has that extra pace.
Yeah.
So you bring on the 65, 70 minute mark. He has
take Longstaff, drop Bruno back, and then maybe. I agree with you. I've always been a big fan of Willock. I think he's got good feet, he's got eye for goal, he gets in the box at the right kind of times, he's got loads of energy. There's a little clip during the rounds of Botman's passing into midfield.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about the way we played and everyone's talking about Botman's pass. But Willock pops the ball off at right back. Then when the pass goes into midfield, he's overlapping Joe Linton and picks it up in the 10, and then he goes round on the overlap to ASM. I was like, that's what Willock's great at, that energy.
Yeah.
We don't get that probably from anybody else, really. Maybe Joe Linton sometimes, but
it's a different type of hustler.
It is,
Joe Linton's not making them quick run. Joe Linton's run is just route 1, isn't it?
Just like a train, isn't he? But so yeah, I wouldn't really be sad either way. For me, I want Bruno further forward. That's so I probably would sacrifice Willock
for
Longstaff, and then obviously you can rotate. If Joe Linton's looking leggy, you bring Willock on. If you Sean Longstaff's looking leggy, which he will do because he does from minute 1. Yeah. But that will be, and then obviously because
that decision wouldn't bother me as much as if the defensive line. So if it was Shah and Botman, that's a combo I would want. If Longstaff played over Willock, I wouldn't be too fussed.
Yeah. But then again, it's like if it's nuts for us to want to get at them, there's more attacking threat from Willock than there probably is, and then from having Longstaff on the pitch. So, yeah, I don't know. It's up for debate. I wouldn't be too bothered either way. But
top 3.
It picks itself after pre-season, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, 2 of them pick themselves anyway, but
Miggy, Wilson, and St. Maximin.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I've seen a few people talk about Anderson starting. He's not ready for that, but I think you've got to keep him in around the squad because he's.
Plus, you mentioned this a while back. We've got 5 subs now, so the odd games which, dare I say, you're winning by a couple of goals, there's 10 minutes to go where you maybe wouldn't necessarily give out as many extra minutes.
Yeah,
they're the type of games where you can start bedding them in.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you need a goal, you hoy somebody on.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Forest, they just slightly worry me a little bit. I don't know if this is because we've only been used to Newcastle being decent for a few months compared to years of, I always thought we could get beat by pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Going in the opening day of the season. I'm excited for the prospect, but maybe just my traditional Newcastle perception of a game is it worries me.
Yeah, I think the defensive unit's so good. I think
based on where we want to be, we should be blowing teams like apart.
I think
like Forest.
Not Forest. I mean, for me, Sky have missed the trick. Like Newcastle, all the clamour on Newcastle this pre-season. Not Forest's first game back. How was that not the Friday night game for? Is beyond me. Like,
because Forest's a huge club.
Massive.
They haven't been in the Premier League for 20 years. They've I don't keep saying they won the European Cup. That was years ago.
Like 3 or 4, was it? Aren't they? They've got a few, haven't they? Or 3, haven't they? Is it 2? Is it?
Oh, yeah,
they won them with a Clough, didn't they?
Hey, there's two big cities.
Yeah.
Where there's gonna be huge buzz around both teams for different reasons. Like,
I really thought as soon as I saw the fixtures, I was like, well, that'll be the Friday night game, definitely.
Yeah.
That'll be or be the early Saturday kick-off to get on TV. But anyway, I think that's the only thing. It's a big away day for them. We're probably a scalp that people want to take now. So there's a lot of that. But I think Newcastle are betting in like one player, maybe like Botman.
So Botman, Pope's already Premier League. Target was there last year. Like,
so we're betting on one player, and it's just how we rejig the midfield and the pre-season. How we've worked on things. It looks good. I think we look good. I think we look sharp. Like,
that's it. When we want to like bet in Cornet, Werner, and Maddison, bring on for the last 10 minutes.
yeah.
But I'm excited for the game. Tickets to the Gallagher end, so it's going to be good.
Yeah,
it's going to be good. Score prediction. This is a tough one because no one knows what Forest is going to be like. I've gone for when I'm never not sure. It's like a
1-1.
No, 2-1. So I've gone for 2-1 to Newcastle.
I'm going 3-0 Newcastle.
Every part of me wanted to put down 3-0, but me still back must have clean sheets even after our run. So I've gone 2-1 to Newcastle.
I think the defensive unit's super solid. I think we'll have a really good defence. I think we'll maybe like top 5 in terms of defensive stats this season. I think so. Yeah, I think we'll be really, really solid. Like, I think Rafa had Newcastle's in his last season. I think so. The top 5. We conceded the 5th least amount of goals. I mean, we scored hardly, but we conceded so few. Just because you had them drilled into their life.
Yeah.
Well, I think these can be drilled, and they're far better players. Far better players.
Yeah, and the Rafa was just like watching a foosball table where the players just didn't move, and it was just like just 2 bunks of 4 now, and that was it all.
Yeah. So I think I'm conceding goals. I mean, we might concede a goal or whatever, but like I don't think we'll concede lots this season. I think they'll be really, really solid. Like,
I reckon the fans' favourite Joe Linton will be told to leave a mark on Jailings, as you like to call him, Jesse Lingard. They were like, see him before he starts dancing around it. Just leave something on him. Or as you back in the day, let him know that you're there.
Yeah, early doors.
Yeah,
he's a poor man's Joe Willock anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, that's just let him know that you're there. Quieten him down before he starts dancing around.
He's obviously a threat. Like he's
cautious,
but he's a quality player. I've said it before. Like I'm glad in the one where we didn't sign him because I would hate to have to like Jesse Lingard. I don't dislike him, but I don't think I can't be bothered with all that jailing stuff and that. Like, mate, if he's 30 or something, aren't you, pal? Stop doing that, man.
If he was doing a TikTok dance now with the Millennium Bridge, you'd be like, go on, lad. He's got
would I? Yeah, Maddison diving every 5 minutes. I'd be like, oh, go on, great. Definitely contact there.
He's like, won the 10th penalty of the season. Oh, it's worth 60 million.
Ah, he's fickle there.
Alright. So you're going 3-0. I'm going 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Let us know what your thoughts are. Predictions for Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. As if the season's back.
It's class.
And next week we'll actually have a game to break down, review.
Yeah.
The season's back, mate.
We'll have a Bruno hat-trick to talk about.
But who's going to score?
I think Wilson will get a goal. I think ASM gets a goal. I don't know, some honking corner, big Botman or something like that.
But yeah, whatever way it comes, I'm game. 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. FPL stuff, that's the last bit of it.
Yeah, FPL. So we are up to 46 players in the league. We started this and thought if we get 20 it'll be a laugh. and then it grew and grew. So if you've joined already, thank you so much. Make sure you check them back every single week, because we'll do a little feature at the end of every pod and just take the piss out of mine and Janus's inability to predict anything to do with football.
I've not tinkered. I was like, no, I'm not touching it until like Thursday. I'm gonna do it on Thursday, because if I do it now, I'm just gonna change my team all week, man.
I made a couple of tweaks.
Have you?
Yeah, I made a couple of tweaks. I decided to spend a bit more in sticks, and so because you only have 3 players per team, can't you? So put Alisson back in goal, and all of a sudden that's four Liverpool players.
2 you got rid of.
So I was like, right, I have to drop Diaz in the
Have
midfield.
you? He's a no-brainer for me, 8 million.
So I brought Saka in, because he was 8 million as well. I had $500,000 left. But now I'm like, right, I really want to get Diaz back in. So then all of a sudden it's like, 4 or 5 changes.
You got Salah?
Yeah.
Have you? He's a lot of money, 30 million, man. I've not got Salah, but I'm trying to get him in my team. Like,
You're trying to get Salah in? So
my big money's on Kane, De Bruyne, and who else? Haaland, yeah.
How we managed to get all 3 of them in? So my big money's on
Alisson.
Yeah. Anderson.
50 million net.
Salah, Haaland, and then in defence I've got Trent.
I've got Trent as well.
And Cancelo.
I've got Trent and I had Reece James. I've taken Reece James out, and I've downgraded to a. I don't know. I've got Zinchenko. He's 5 million.
He could be short.
So
Gabriel Jesus, 8 million. That's a steal.
That's the one. So I haven't got him. My other strike guys like Greenwood of Leeds, not of Manchester United.
Yeah.
So I've got him. He's like a couple of pennies.
I was looking for, like, you know, when you find like the attacker that's like 3 million, like Big John who plays for like the Red Line or something. I kind of find like
it's Greenwood. I think he's 4.5 million. So I've got him. Mm-hmm. So I've got knee back. I'm straight in my midfield it's all right. My midfield is like pretty decent. I've got it's okay. I've got De Bruyne.
We seem pretty decent. We're confident now.
I've got De Bruyne. I've got Diaz, and I've got ESM. And I've got
Newcastle players is always like a weakness, because when we were in the ground on Friday, we were talking to Scott, with the mate who was in the league, and we we're all like showing each other the teams that we have so far. Like, it's amazing how many Newcastle players start, and we're like, oh, we're gonna have a great season, and you showing everyone that you've got in, and it'd be interesting to see how many Newcastle players.
I remember a couple of seasons ago when we first signed
Big Joe
Linton. I had 3 Newcastle players. I think I started that season with Richie, Almiron, and Joe Linton.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Richie takes corners and pens and free kicks.
Yeah, when you only get 1 penalty a season.
He's a good crosser. I swear he is.
Yeah. You listened to all the hype, didn't you?
I think it might not be him, but I definitely started with I was going to say Wilson, but it wasn't Wilson. But yeah, I definitely had 3 Newcastle players, and I was like, what am I doing here?
You had Arsenal with some, did you?
I tried to shift them out. Like,
yeah. So how many Newcastle players you on at the moment?
I've only got 2. I did have 3. I did have a Botman, but because he's 4.5, he's cheap. But I got rid of him for a fullback. Can't remember who. Fullbacks.
I've currently got 2. I've got Trippier and Bruno.
In fact, I might only have 1 now. I only had 1. I've 1 now. I did have 3 because I had Botman, I had Wilson in my team as well. But I've only got 1 now. I've only got ESM. Then I've got to Bruno, and then back to ESM, then back to Bruno.
So your big decisions between Bruno and...
Now, my biggest decision is, do I get rid of one of my big money? Do I get rid of like...
Because you've got 3 premium players. That's
I've got 3.
That's a lot of budget, isn't it?
It's a lot of budget, and I've got Trent as well.
Oh, wow.
He's like...
He's the most expensive defender.
Yeah, so... You got Trent's up. He'll pay... You have to have Trent. Yeah, I think you're mad if... You cannot win the league without Trent, I don't think.
But isn't it that when the World Cup kicks off, there's that rule where you can have unlimited transfers or something daft like that?
Well, I'm not ready to the rules. Like, I don't read the rules.
I was listening to a pod while I was driving today, and they're the ones that were fucking my head up. I'm like, proper deciding, and all these experts were like telling us all these ones I need to go for. I'm like, ah.
So I could take out KDB, but I don't want to take KDB out. I've got this feeling he's going to have a good start of the season. I could take KDB out.
So you're basically De Bruyne or Salah.
Well, I can't.
I mean, you can't get 4 premiums.
I have to decimate my team to get salary. I was trying to get salary, but I have to decimate my team. I have to take Harry Kane out. Kane will have to become Wilson, and then I can probably make that other schmo, Jesus, and have a bit of cash left over for somebody else in midfield. That's probably how I can't get salary. I don't think 30 million, man. I wanted Son as well, and I was like,
Son's the only person I would change Salah for. But they were number 1 and number 2 in the game last year, weren't they?
And but KDB was injured for a lot, had COVID and stuff, injured.
Yeah. You forget how good he is.
He's mint. I'd watched randomly today. I watched the highlights of him scoring 4 against Wolves. And then he also got an assist when he set Foden hit the post, and he also hit the post himself.
Yeah, he missed a good chance, didn't he?
So he got 5 and got an assist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, bit of a tangent, but if you're in FPL, that would be really interesting. If you're not, we probably lost you 5 minutes ago. We're not talking to you anyway. But yeah, thanks for downloading, thanks for subscribing. Premier League is back. We're gonna have some football to talk about, and you've got 5 days to subscribe, 4 days to subscribe. It's Monday to our FPL league. So Romeo Golf X-Ray 3 X-Ray uniform. Thanks for downloading, and we'll catch you next week. The Premier League kicks off.